Here you go, you're rolling.
Okay, cool. Alright, so we're going to show you how to use the transparency film. You can find this at Staples or Office Depot. This is a window decal, and it has two layers, obviously. One says image other side, the other one is obviously where the image is. Once you've printed it out, when I've showed you in the last video, you're going to have it. It's going to look something like this. You'll see how close it is to the side. So really, it's a very near thing to get 8 on this sheet. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find there's an edge, a side that has a tearaway. I think it's this side, and to pull this off. So once that's off, that'll give you a place to start to grab the rest of it. And what I'll do is I'll turn it over, and I'll use an X-Acto knife, and I'll cut them in groups of 2. So I'll just go ahead and do that real quick. Okay. I didn't quite cut that. Alright, so now we have our two of our cards, which we're only going to do 2. I'm not going to do the whole thing. And what this will do is, if you were to rip the whole thing off, your fingers, the oils on your fingers, get on the sticky side. It just doesn't look very good. So if you do 2 at a time, you kind of minimize that a bit. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and rip this off, nice and easy. Alright, and we'll take our box of clean foils, take 2 out. Get them all. And what I'll do is I'll start with one or the other. It actually doesn't matter, but what you do want to do is I like to start on my left side and try to center it so that it's somewhere in the middle. The nice thing is these do come off again, so if you don't quite get it the first time, you can always take it off and start again. I've made the template so that there's a little bit of room on all 4 sides. I think it comes out to be something like 3.5051 inches from top to bottom, and it's a little bit wider than 2.51 on these sides. I have to convert it to pixels, which is a pain in the butt for that program, but it's easy enough. So we'll do the other one real quick. And then once I do that, I'll cut it. Now what I'll do is I actually will use the X-Acto knife for the straight sides. Oh, and this is an Alvin cutting surface. It's self-healing, and it's really important because it doesn't slide. This blade, it goes in perfect straight lines, and it doesn't cause any damage to this. It's really useful, very worth it. If you can find one, definitely suggest getting it. So just rip off these pieces and try to keep them away from the foiling. They do get stuck to the inside. You have to rip it off and try to do it again. Then once you get the corners, there's little pieces here. You're going to want to use a scissor and just cut it off. So you use a scissor because it tends to pull with an X-Acto knife around curved corners. So I just do that with a scissor. Alright, and I think the last corner here. Alright, and we're done. And there's one. And you'll see there's a lot of bubbles in it. So what I do once I get it like that, is I'll rip half slowly. I don't know if I can get the corner, cut it really close. And I'll rip it halfway off. Man, this thing's really sticky. And then I'll slowly, with my finger, push it down and let it fall. And that should get a good number of those bubbles away. I mean, I didn't do too good a job. It takes time. But if you really want it to be nice and flat, you'll have to play with it a little bit. But once you've cut it out, you can do that a bunch and get it to where you like it. I could show you with the other way, but I think that pretty much shows what you want to do with the transparency film. And the thickness is actually pretty good, and it's still very flexible, unlike the initial method, which was with spray glue. Because it has self-adhesive, it's also not going to have pockets of glue with, on the backside. So it really looks really nice. The other thing we'll do is we'll show you how to do this on matte finish photo paper using Studio Tack as an adhesive, which allows an even surface of adhesive between the two layers, and is also very flexible, and we'll do that in a different video. But this should give you an idea of what you want to do when you're trying to make foils, and we'll talk about the non-foils next time.